Hello, my name is Piyush Bhatia and I am an English entrepreneur, a passionate digital marketer, father of a naughty daughter, and an avid book reader. Well, would you like to speak English fluently and confidently the way you speak your mother tongue? I am going to now share with you 5 tips to speak English fluently and confidently. And hold your breath, all these 5 tips are pretty easy and tested and tried to more than 5 lakh professionals and students. My first tip, before I share with you my first tip, let me ask you a question. If I ask you to read any text loudly for 30 minutes and you read any text loudly, when I say loudly, I mean you are reading a text. There are many festivals, but my favorite one is this festival. We celebrate it at home, in our colony, and also in our school. If you're reading any English text loudly like this for 30 minutes every day, what are you actually doing? What are you actually doing? And that's my question to you. Yes, you are right. You are speaking correct English for 30 minutes. Imagine you are speaking correct English for 30 minutes, and now I tell you that you need to do this activity for 30 days at a stretch. Now you are speaking correct English for 30 minutes every day for 30 days. Well, the first tip itself is enough to train you to speak English fluently and confidently. Well, before I share with you the second tip to speak English fluently and confidently, I have another question for you. How did you learn your mother tongue? Well, you learnt your mother tongue with the help of surroundings. Now, just imagine and just observe any child that you have seen in your family. This child has always been very attentive to what others are speaking. When this child is around 2.5, 3 years, the child is continuously listening to the mother tongue that is being spoken. And yes, the correct answer is you have learnt your mother tongue by listening. Similarly, you can learn to speak English fluently by listening. And just imagine you learnt your mother tongue without reading that text, without writing that text, or without going through the grammar of your mother tongue. So, if you can learn your mother tongue by listening, I am pretty sure you can also learn to speak English fluently by listening. So, my second tip for you is listen to any English audio for 15 minutes to 30 minutes every day. Well, what you can do is you can utilize your traveling time, you can utilize any spare time that you have and listen to English audio using audible.com or any other app that you like. And now, before I share with you the third tip to speak English fluently and confidently, I have another question for you. Do you think that you are not able to speak in English because you lack vocabulary? Do you think that the words that you know are not enough to frame sentences in English? 95% of English learners say that. But well, according to me, that's a wrong answer. You are able to understand what I am speaking right now. So, you do not have a problem with vocabulary. The difficulty you have is that you don't remember or you don't recollect that word that you want to use at that right time. So, and it's a different thing that you want to develop your own vocabulary. So, vocabulary is not an issue. The issue is we are trained to think in our mother tongue and we are not trained to think in English. So, my third tip for you today is practice thinking in English. And what do I mean by practice thinking in English? Close your eyes, visualize a situation where you are speaking in English and construct one sentence at a time. I also have made a video on how to think in English. You can click on the link below and access that video. Practice thinking in English for 15 minutes every day, and like magic, you will be able to speak in English fluently and confidently. And yes, this brings me to share with you the fourth tip to speak English fluently and confidently. Well, have you gone to a gym and observed that there's a mirror in a gym? Have you observed that there is a mirror in a dance class? And why is it there? It is there to show you your body language, to develop your confidence. My fourth tip to speak English fluently and confidently is to use the mirror technique. Well, what is mirror technique? Mirror technique is all about standing in front of mirror, maintaining eye contact with yourself, and practicing speaking in English. You will be amazed that you will be able to correct not only your body language but also your pronunciation, your fluency, and your grammatical errors. So, the tip here is stand in front of mirror, prepare a small topic and speak 10, 20 to 30 sentences. And over a period of time, from 20 you move to 30, 30 to 40, and 40 to 50, and you will be able to see that your ability to speak correct and more sentences in English will grow with period of time. That brings me to the end of the fourth tip, which is using the mirror technique. I'm sure before I share with you the fifth tip, you will be able to answer this simple question of mine. How did you learn cycling? How did you learn swimming? How did you learn writing? And how did you learn to dance? Well, I don't know what is your answer, but the correct answer is you learned swimming by swimming. You learn cycling by cycling. Similarly, my fifth tip for you is you learn speaking in English by speaking in English. What do I mean by that? You will learn to speak in English by speaking in English. Whatever amount of practice you do, you will be making mistakes when you speak in English. But that should not be a reason that you are not practicing to speak in English. So my suggestion is 24/7 for next 30 days you practice speaking in English. Now you will say that, how do I talk to my mother in English? How do I talk to a watchman in English? How do I talk to a auto rickshaw driver or taxi driver in English? So I have a tip for you as well. Well, what you can do is you can tell your mother, I'm going to college, मैं college जा रहा हूँ. You can talk to the liftman and say that take the lift to the fourth floor, मुझे चौथे माले पे जाना है. You can talk to the rickshaw driver and say that मुझे मुंबई सेंट्रल स्टेशन ले चलो. Take me to Mumbai Central Station. Use the regular language that you are using with all people you meet throughout the day, and with that add an English sentence. This will, over a period of time, help you to speak in English with anybody and everybody. And then after some time, you can start reducing the use of your regional language and increase the use of English language. Because the only way to learn speaking is speaking. Well, don't go anywhere. I have a bonus tip for you. How many of you think that you need a friend who can practice speaking in English with you? How about if I give you a friend or a different sets of friends from all over the world who will be practicing speaking in English with you on your phone free of cost 24/7? Yes, you are excited, right? So, there is a very nice app called Open Talk. The spelling of Open Talk is OPENTALK. The logo of this app is shown here in this video. You can download it from Play Store or iPhone, and you can talk to anybody who wants to practice speaking in English, and that person will talk to you, and every time you dial you'll get to talk to a different person, and you can improve your mistakes of the person whom you are talking to, and that way you can improve your English by speaking in English with unknown people. How is that? So, wish you all the best.